Yeah,
Oof.
you know who else supposedly likes pineapple pizza is Elon Musk. And
Ugh.
but recently he's gotten into a very public feud with one of the top video game reaction streamers,
Yeah.
Asmongold.
This is
And
so crazy.
this thing is so great. Like I just had to talk about it with you guys today because
It's
so
nutty.
so here's the thing. So Elon Musk has been flexing about his video game prowess. He was like in the top 10 of like, Diablo 4 players in the world. And when this new game, Path of Exile, came out, he basically went hardcore mode, which means that if you die, like your character gets wiped. And he's supposedly like, I want to say like number one, or at least in the top 5 of Path of Exile in terms of like the hardcore mode. But there are these gamers out there who started analyzing his live streams and realizing that he doesn't really know how to play the game, at least according to them. And so they think that he's hired people to basically get his characters up to these insane like record breaking levels, and then like he just comes on and owns them. And Asmongold, who he's a World of Warcraft streamer, kind of like built his audience over there, but now he's very big on YouTube because he just puts out all these reaction content videos. And Asmongold reacted to the video of the guy kind of breaking down Elon's gameplay and basically said like, yeah, Elon's not playing this game, like he's faking like his rankings and stuff like that. And then Elon gets butthurt about being called out for not actually playing Path of Exile 2, and he starts leaking private DMs he had with Asmongold, and and he took away his blue check mark and his like video game badge and stuff like that on Twitter. And so people are like, dude, like, what's your damage? Like, you got called out, just own it. But this feud just keeps getting like worse and worse and worse and worse. And it's almost funny because like here you have like this billionaire like rocket scientist guy who's got the ear of the president. Then you have this dude who like lives in his attic who just like reacts to videos, and they're having like the biggest feud on the planet.
Yeah. You know what's funny is the Path of Exile thing is sort of stupid too, because that can all be all of his inconsistencies with the game can be explained if he uses 2 keyboards, which a lot of Path of Exile players use.
Right, well, Brian, why don't we start with you? Like, why don't we dive into this? What's your perspective on this?
Yeah, I don't know if he's paying people to levels accounts. I'm sure he could be. But if you look at the gameplay, I play Path of Exile. And if you're using like one of the one-handed keyboards like the G13 or the Lay-In Pro, it allows you to literally control like 15 to 25 buttons. You don't have to use your keyboard. You don't have to mouse over certain things. So you can explain his gameplay by him just being filthy rich and having better gear, honestly. And I'm not sure that's the case. I'm just saying that he could just be using a G13. And if he's using a G13, then he wouldn't have to play the standard way that people would play when they're using, AWSD or whatever. Aside from that, though, the whole thing with Asmon is really funny because you're right. You have this guy, this like filthy cockroach dude that just like makes videos in his attic somewhere, and he's fighting with the richest guy on the planet. Like, it's so insane. And they're chatting like they're buds, and then they start arguing with each other. And honestly, Asmon didn't argue with anyone. It was 99% Elon Musk just fueling this thing because he's so pissed that someone dare threaten his elite gamer profile
Status.
Yeah. I just think it is really quite funny. I still love Elon Musk. I'm getting a kick out of it. And I saw Asmon's reaction to it, and it's funny because Asmon doesn't really give a shit. He's like, yeah, I think it's sort of funny. I'm sure we're gonna be cool later on. He'll calm down.
No, and I don't care.
He literally was like, I'm sure that when he relaxes, we'll be buds again. Like, it's such a weird thing, dude. 2025 bingo is really getting out there.
Well, Alex, you're along with Dutch Butters, you're running our gaming channel, and Asmongold is a very famous video game streamer and reaction content guy. And Elon Musk kind of flexing about like how he uses video games almost like as a Zen-like way to unwind, but he's like very, very big on like breaking records and being like the best at it. What's your take on this feud?
It's just 2 autistic nerds going at it, man. I don't
That's
know.
what it is. It's a couple autistic dudes fighting. Yeah.
It's just the two autistic dudes fighting over who's better. I don't know. Look. I'm not trying to pick a fight, and I know I'm in the YouTube sphere, so I'm supposed to play nice, but I don't.
I
really
like
have
them
a
both,
super,
by the way.
I don't have a very high opinion about Asmongold. I don't like his content. That's nothing against the guy personally. I don't know him obviously, but just watching him react to other people's better content just drives me insane a little bit. He's just a grimy little weird dude. Who's like, have you seen pictures of his freaking room that he's in? It's gross. It grosses me out. I don't like that guy.
He did that thing where he hired someone to clean his house. Remember that?
No, because I don't watch any of his stuff. I'm glad he did that though. At least it's a step in the right direction. You know, the first part of solving a problem.
He took an after photo, and it still looked like the floor of a glory hole booth.
Well, I don't even know what an Asmongold is. It sounds like something that's on the periodic table to me. But
it's a Twitch streamer.
At the end of the day,
YouTuber.
I thought it was I thought the bigger deal wasn't it that Elon got into his private DMs and was like putting them out online or some shit?
No,
like
it was a private DM exchange between him and Elon that he started.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Screenshots of,
because I know everybody was making a big deal out of it. Because otherwise, I could give a shit about this whole thing. But that was the thing that stuck out to me as kind of weird. But yeah,
well, I think we are seeing like the soft underbelly of the dragon when it comes to Elon Musk. Like he has an ego, right? He's the most richest person. He's got an ego, and somebody poked at a soft spot, and he freaked out. He spurred out about it.
Well, Tom, the funny thing about those DMs is that, so as people are pointing out, Elon completely misunderstood what Asmongold was telling him, because basically, Elon interpreted what Asmongold told him as saying that like Asmongold answers to a boss, and what Asmongold was saying is that he has two editors that he does rev share with on the YouTube channel,
video editors, dude,
video editors that he has to like run an idea by because they're partners in the channel.
They're partners, right?
And then like Elon's like, oh, Asmongold has people he answers to.
He's talking about like editors from like old newspaper times.
Yeah,
that's what he's referring to, like editors at like a newspaper.
Well, I answer to an editor, Andre, but I actually edit the videos. Like, I mean, I guess there's a difference
but the point was that Elon was saying that Asmongold basically has people that he answers to.
Okay,
I thought Asmongold's actually the boss.
But I thought it was like he got into like other private DMs that had nothing to do with him that he had put out.
No, he just screen shared. That's what I did. Took a screenshot.
Yeah. So, Tom, what do you think about Elon fully misunderstanding how YouTube works?
No, and I don't care.
Okay, then moving on.
No, I really don't give a shit, honestly. I mean, like I said, unless he's doing something nefarious, like, because that was what I thought was he got into this guy's or at least shared them publicly, because he obviously could get into all of our DMs if he wants to. But like, yeah, I thought that's what was going on. But if that's not what's going on, then I don't give a shit. It's two nerds fighting.
All right. Well, Reaper, I know that over in the UK, the government has it out for Elon Musk. Are they keeping track of how Asmongold's handling the situation?
I think they're too busy denying giant pedophile scandals at the moment.
Very true. What's your take on this feud?
Well, Elon Musk does often spare out, like over the H-1B visas. He took loads of people's blue check marks away. But how does a guy who's sending rockets to space have enough time to make a fucking Exile account, become a master on it, and then argue with some homeless guy on the internet?
Homeless guy.
Who has the fucking time for that?
All while arguing with Asmongold?
He called Asmongold homeless.
I mean, he looks homeless.
Oh my god!
I like this guy. I like this guy.
Oh,
bring him back next week, Kadish. I like this guy. Hey man, let's talk about the CIA a little bit more too.
And I'm telling you, birds aren't real, you guys. I'm telling you. They're CIA drones. They're here to spy on us.
Some of them probably are.
Oh, Reaper, do you have
Ted Cruz is the Zodiac killer.
Do you have any comments on how Elon is basically interfering in UK politics?
No. It's so boring. Well, he's not really. He's just going, Keir Starmer's a pedo. And Keir Starmer's like, no. And that's it. That's basically as far as it goes.
Why is everything over there so much gayer than America? It's like, we got gangs here too, but not groomer ones.
Yeah, but they're Muslims. They're not us. So, what do you want us to do?
Get rid of
Ideally,
them.
we get rid. Well, I can't physically. There's fucking millions of them. They just seem to.
Well, I
keep
don't mean you
inviting them in.
specifically, but I mean,
I mean, not where I live. I'm in quite a white area, so I'm okay-ish. But not far from me, there's quite a lot of pedo gangs. They're fucking everywhere. The weird thing
Well-
is, though, is that they just went, should we investigate 250,000 girls being groped? And the government just went, nah, we're fine.
I'm sure it'll
We
be
don't need to
okay.
check into that. It's not like we've covered it up.
Crazy.
Well, it was nice being monetized for a little while anyway. Odin, what's your
Tommy
take
Robinson
on
was right.
Elon
More
versus Asmongold?
I just honestly, for me, I care so very little about the topic. It just is not. It just doesn't seem that important to me. I've heard the sides of it though, and so does it really matter though to me whether or not he's actually as good of a gamer as he claims to be? It doesn't really matter. Would it surprise me to hear that he didn't actually do any of the grinding to get to that level? It wouldn't surprise me. It also wouldn't surprise me if he did. I mean, again, that's why for me, I don't really have a side in this fight. The one thing I've heard some people mention though is the fact that he showed DMs, and I know that can be a bit of a faux pas in many respects. But for me, also, it's like if the DMs aren't really revealing anything like personal, I don't have as much of a problem with it. Again, I do think it's a bad precedent because I do think that it sets the stage of, okay, what are you willing to share? Like, what is your line? If you're willing to show private messages between you and another person, like that, what line would you have? But with what was actually shown, I don't really think it was that big of a deal as far as what was actually shown. So
I do think it should raise a concern about X as a platform where it's like, okay, so if you do something that the freaking the Lord Almighty Elon Musk doesn't like, he's gonna like mess with you on his platform because he can.
Was it trustworthy? Was it trustworthy before when there was a CIA guy in the building? Is it more trustworthy or less?
Yeah. They were activating the birds on his building. I told you.
You keep assuming that they've left. I don't know if they have or not.
Well, they have an office
under new management.
Yeah, because also too, the only thing I've really heard is like the only ramifications have been some people have been demonetized. But I think the point can be made of, well, it is his platform, so he can pay whoever he wants to pay. But
right, but that was the same argument that they made when Twitter was owned by Jack Dorsey too. It's like, well, you can't say conservative things because it's his platform. He doesn't want you to.
One of the differences, though, is that you could actually get deplatformed and kicked off, and that's a very different thing than just being demonetized on a platform. I think.
Yeah, it is different.
Especially on one like Twitter, which is really not known for monetization, right? Because even those that are in the partner program with like the ad sales and stuff, I don't think are like writing home of, oh man, I'm getting so much money from these ads. Let me tell you. I mean,
this is my career. No.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of that. I mean, if it was a situation like that where someone like this would probably not be until years down the road, like someone had been established on X as like that was their place, that's where all their followers were. Maybe there are people like that might exist right now, and then they were demonetized. Then I that's where I think a huge problem could be brought up. But in general, as of right now, it just, again, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal for me, at least as far as other things going on in the world.
Also,
just don't, if you've got dirty DMs, don't get into an argument with Elon Musk. He's going to leak them all.
Yeah.
He's a freaking screen share.
But also, like, don't put any personal information in a DM on
you shouldn't
on
do
Twitter
that.
in the first place. It's just
Although Odin has given me a social security card.
Yes, this is true.
I don't know why you keep doing that, dude. I told you I don't need it. It's not important, but
because I love you.
Okay, that's fair.
The secret affair between Brian and Odin has been revealed. But you know what's crazy about this whole feud is that Asmongold was just reacting to a very in-depth and accusatory video made by a different guy who was basically calling out Elon Musk, and all Asmongold did was agree with him at the end of the day. He's like, yeah, Elon Musk is definitely faking his ranking and stuff like that. So it's kind of weird that Elon's not going after all the guys who were calling him out. It was just Asmongold.
Probably because he felt like he had a relationship with Asmongold.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It was like he felt betrayed by his friend, basically. I think is what it probably came down to.
He was friends with the homeless dude.
Asmon has specifically said that they're not friends, though. Like they just exchanged DMs occasionally, but like they weren't like in regular contact with each other. So
yeah, but for autistic guys like Elon, that's probably one of his friends.
Maybe. I mean, it's true. You know who else are good friends? Are super chatters. We have DaBeast808, who has just become a member of the channel. Thank you, DaBeast808. And he also gifted 5 Salty Nerd Podcast memberships. We have hit our goal for the live stream. Hold up. Thank you so much, DaBeast808. Really appreciate you. And Scotty Dub for $50. Aloha,
Yeah.
the Salty Saturday crew. Good to see a Northern Englishman joining you today. If I may recommend, Emilia Perez is the best awful film most likely to win Best Picture soon. Happy birthday to Dutch. I'll be in Vegas soon for fun. Oh, it's not a week. You should hang out when you're in town. Be sure to hit us up to let us know.
No desire to see that garbage.
What's that about him?
Oh, it's about the trans person. It's basically it's a guy who runs a drug cartel and he's trying to get away from the cartel, so he becomes a woman.
Okay.
But it's not in like the comedy days of old where it's like, oh, you could have a movie like Tootsie where it's like playing it for laughs, or the Joanna Man, right? No. It's like it's because he's a woman now.
He's trying to evade detection, sort of like Caitlyn Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner hit someone with his car and became a woman.
Buckle up, buckaroos.
Buckle up, buckaroos.
Didn't that film piss off everyone in South America? Somehow pissed off the entire continent.
Probably did. Apparently, there's a lot of issues with it beyond just that. Like it's just not a good film. Like, because even the film threat guys who tend to like more obscure movies, like regardless of the content, even they were like, yeah, this is not good.
But isn't the film set in Mexico? It's set in Mexico, and yet there's not many Mexican actors in the movie. And when asked why there isn't any Mexicans, they went, "Oh, they're not good enough."